world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Hi everyone, Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy 2, get 2 free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Congratulations to American Heritage Credit Union, who was just named the 2024 Best in State Credit Unions list by Forbes for 2 years in a row. Your friends at Odyssey want to congratulate the entire American Heritage Credit Union team for this prestigious honor.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Starting the moment I lift my hand from the Bible after taking the oath of office. We're going to do it on day one.
Day one.
On day one, we're going to do it. I will seal the border, stop the invasion. We have an invasion coming through our southern border.
Yes, we do.
And by the way, you know who wants that? You know who wants that invasion stopped the most? Hispanic people, because they don't want their jobs taken.
Listen to the cheers.
They don't want their homes taken. And you know who it affects the most is black people, because these people are coming in and taking jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. On day one, we're going to do it.
On day one.
I will seal the border, stop the invasion. We have an invasion coming through our
So that is Donald J. Trump last night. And just if you can pop that down, we'll go back to Trump. You'll hear him through the next 2 hours. And no doubt, I can't get enough of it. I loved the positive energy, such joy in Miami, a great crowd. I mean, and it's hot. It's Miami in July. I loved when he said, "Oh man, are you hot?" He goes, "It's fine. We're good." Once you know that you're soaking wet. But I loved the rally last night. Let me know what you loved in what he said. And you think about this. I just found I got the latest post from National Review, and they're talking about the major battleground states, how they're swinging toward Trump as the cost of Biden's disastrous debate comes into focus. That's the latest headline just this morning. And they're talking about the fact that President Joe Biden digging in his heels at the top of the ticket. And that's important where they talk about the top of the ticket, because the reason Democrats are flipping out right now is that it's all about me, me, me. In other words, it's about them. They're just selfishly thinking, ruh-roh, I'm up for election, whether it's, especially those right now. There's a fear that there is a red wave this time, and that, yes, that means not just the top of the ticket, but that flows, it's trickled down Bidenomics, and Biden bad for the ticket, right? So the nonpartisan Cook Political Report, which is really the Bible, if you will, of when you look at all the different polls, it's shifting 6 critical swing states toward Trump. Yeah. Former President Donald J. Trump gets 3: Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. And they have moved from that toss-up, if you know the Cook Report, if you subscribe to that, the toss-up category to leaning Republican, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. And then they labeled the most important swing states in the race, Michigan, Pennsylvania right here, and Wisconsin do remain in the toss-up category. But 3 other states have moved toward Trump, going from likely Democrat to leaning Democratic: Minnesota, New Hampshire, and one of Nebraska's 3 electoral votes. So these are all critical, and I know it's just a snapshot of today, but we love looking at this and, hey, just taking a little bit of a victory lap, shall we? So these are the new ratings, from a renowned political forecaster, Cook Report, as I say. And so we'll continue to watch this, but that post-debate dip, the Biden dip, represents the biggest polling shift of the year. So this is big. It's big, baby. So this puts even further pressure on Biden and his, what did Sean and Nick call it, the big boy performance tomorrow, the speech that's promised, that, by the way, was already on the docket. So it's not a result of all the media talk and Democrats meeting yesterday and having freakouts. This was already on the docket, that he would hold a news conference after he met with these world leaders, right? So this was planned, but it certainly puts the pressure on Biden. And I would say, God forbid he has another gaffe or another moment, then that will be bad for him. I don't know where they go, where they get out of this, because I think they don't have a deep bench. And I think that they do have the Kamala Harris problem. Trump talked about that. We'll get to all the audio, but Trump did mention that, Kamala Harris is the best insurance policy, meaning it's the best insurance policy for Republicans. I also want to talk about with you and getting to the newly released Republican agenda. I'll get to this is tragic. Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, his family, murdered police officer, the guy, by all accounts, the killer here, standing over him as he's wounded and fighting for life, as he's already shot 3 times. He's down. And according to all the court records, everything, I believe this was captured in part on by witnesses, video, etc., stands over him and fires at close range into his face and his head. Oh, my God, an execution of a police officer. And so the family just learning all this time, it happened February 18th, right after Valentine's Day in 2023. And the family is all this time later, which is 17 months later, the family, grieving widow, mommy. Oh, and we've met Marissa Fitzgerald, and just a brave widow. It's not easy being the spouse of a law enforcement officer, and she's a grieving widow. And so she has to get this word from DA Krasner that, sorry, we're not going to seek the death penalty. It's off the table. Even taking it off the table, why would you not leave it on the table if you're trying to pressure, let's say you're just trying to pressure a defendant, an accused perpetrator, an accused cop killer? Why would you not just leave it on the table as at the very least a hope that the individual would plead guilty, because then they could even negotiate with that? But nope, it's off the table, not going to do that. So we'll talk about Sergeant Fitzgerald and share our outrage, and you'll hear from his widow just to remind you of the heartache with this case. 31-year-old young man and beautiful family, and we've met all of them as parents, his widow, young kid, beautiful young kids. But I want to get through this as we look at the latest ratings, the Cook Report, and how things are going swimmingly. And I want to get your take on the RNC, Republicans releasing their latest platform. And then I'll take you to an op-ed, and it is labeled as an opinion piece. And this is USA Today, fair, balanced USA Today. So this is their op-ed. A nation in serious decline, in all caps. GOP platform is an unhinged, all caps list of Trump's lies. The platform is basically a bunch of random capitalized words, and then it's i.e. prevent World War III, rebuild our cities. And then it says generated, I assume, by an authoritarian-leaning AI that was fed a Trump rally transcript. This is written by one of these USA Today opinion piece writers named Rex. So this is Rex, and he's got to write about this. He says, great news, the Republican Party is now officially just as weird and drunk uncle-ish as Donald Trump, the convicted felon. The party is rolling out as its presidential candidate / democracy saboteur. The Republican National Committee's Platform Committee adopted the strangest document ever, created and declared it the party's new official platform. It was less a serious expression of a party's values and plans for governing, and more a reminder that Republicans think actual policy proposals are for woke ninnies, and American voters should just shut up and let billionaires control things, as he writes. They do, to their credit, they're labeling this is his opinion piece, but he says the title of the document, he starts criticizing it right there. GOP platform, make America great again. And then he is criticizing the fact that they don't have a colon after GOP platform. This is where he begins, and you can only imagine and what I note about this is that he's claiming, first of all, that everybody is a Republican. You are stupid, you are drunk, that it's strange. It's putting down not just a candidate and not just the policies, although he doesn't really seriously get into or address the policies, which are, first of all, make America great again. How does anybody disagree? You tell me, how do you disagree with make America great again? I don't know. I think that sounds pretty good. Why? How do you put that down? Make America great again. So the only criticism he can have of that title is that, oops, should have put a colon. And by the way, if you look at it, and I printed it out this morning, and I spread it, I gave it out, I distributed it like a librarian would, or like I do for my kids, right? So it has GOP platform, all caps, and this is the cover page, and then the next page, and then the next line is make America great again underneath. So they didn't really need a colon it's not all one line, but he makes it, so I would say he's leading you to believe that, oh yes, it's all one line. So he's already misleading you. But in essence, it says America first, a return to common sense. That's one of the lines. It talks about in our nation's history. It's filled with stories of brave men and women who gave everything they had to build America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. Generations of American patriots have summoned the American spirit of strength determination, and love of country to overcome seemingly unsurmountable challenges. The American people, capitalizing people as well as American, have proven time and time again that we can overcome any obstacle and any force pitted against us. In the early days of our republic, the founding generation defeated what was then the most powerful empire in the world that the world had ever seen. In the 20th century, America vanquished Nazism and fascism and then triumphed over Soviet communism after 44 years of the Cold War. How about that? The Trump and the GOP accused of supporting Hitler and Nazis and being fascists. Wow, isn't that something? Is right in the second paragraph. They talk about how America vanquished Nazism and fascism, right, and triumph over the Soviets. But now we are a nation in all caps, serious decline, and I believe that what they're referring to, we know. Talking about the economy, talking about the energy policies that are hurting all of us, that we're all feeling, that are hurting jobs, tough regulations during tough economic times and what that means. It says our future, our identity, and our very way of life are under threat like never before. Today, we must once again call upon the same American spirit that led us to prevail through every challenge of the past if we are going to lead our nation to a brighter future. Talks about career politicians selling out jobs, selling out livelihoods to the highest bidders overseas with unfair trade deals and a blind faith in the siren song of globalism. Okay, it goes on, and this is well written, in my humble opinion. It lays out what happened and what went wrong and how Trump fixed it once before and will fix it once again. And makes it an easy read. What's so wrong with that? Talks about rebuilding cities, including D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. Boy, what is this guy Rex from USA Today? Why does he have a problem with that? How is that drunk? How is that wrong? He talks about strengthening and modernizing our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. Keeping the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. That's critical. When have you heard anybody talking about that or Biden talking about it? Fighting for and protecting Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. There's a whole segment in here. We'll tweet this out and put this out on social media if you haven't seen it. It talks about cutting federal funding for any school that's pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. The word there, inappropriate. So what is an appropriate curriculum? And all by itself, keep men out of women's sports. Boom. There it is. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Secure elections, including same-day voting, voter ID, paper ballots, proof of citizenship. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. When America is united, confident, and committed to our principles, it will never fail. Today and together, with love of our country, faith in our people, and trust in God's good grace, we will make America great again. It's just simply put out here. The economy, talking about all of this. And if you think about, and it goes on, but if you think about this, and then you think about snippy, gripey, sourpuss Mike Pence, the former vice president, who calls himself a patriot, putting out an op-ed piece, which is disappointing to me because the word abortion is not in here. And I know that you feel strongly about this. I know my dear friend Kathy Barnett, who you've heard her on this program for years now, talk about her incredible story, how her mommy was a little girl herself. I believe her mom was 11 and was raped. And they as a family chose to have the baby, and that baby is our own beautiful Kathy Barnett. What an incredible story. And Kathy was never even told that, as she was raised on her grandparents' farm where she lived with her mommy, right, who raised her. And it wasn't until she went and signed up for the military that was looking at her birth certificate. She didn't even know the whole story, and then felt this. Remember when she told us this story, and you've heard her tell it before? Wow, it's just such a powerful story about how she just realized, oh my gosh, my mom is my hero, and my grandparents, and they realized that even despite this horrible thing, that my mom, as a little girl, would give birth. I mean, you can't even imagine how tough that would be. So Kathy Barnett, yes, she is an example of, she is the epitome of somebody who's pro-life. And of course, it's because that's what gave her life. Okay? So I understand that there are strong feelings about this issue, right? I get it. I respect it. But in this, because of Roe v. Wade, because of the SCOTUS ruling that happened in 2022, Roe v. Wade is no longer a federal issue, if you will. It's the Supreme Court properly ruled that it is not a constitutional right. It goes back to the states. It's now a state's issue. But there's more to it. And we need to think about that. There's more to it because you look at the issue of fundraising. You look at how women in the so-called reproductive rights issue is, in fact, women especially are being pimped by career partisan politicians on both sides who fundraise off of this thing. And it's basically the low-hanging fruit of fundraising. It's easy peasy. So on one side, you have people coming out and saying, hey, we want to save the babies, and that's real. On the other side, oh, we want to save women's right to choose, okay? And I understand that on both sides there's a lot of sincerity, but on the other hand, I'm just going to say to you, career partisan politicians know that it tugs at your heartstrings, knows that it riles you up and fires you up no matter how you feel on the issue, and they're going to fundraise off of it. So why would they ever be incentivized to solve this issue? Never. The answer is never. Now that it's gone back to the states and it's a states' rights issue, now that we do have this pill, mifepristone, which the Supreme Court ruled can remain, it remains 2/3 of all these procedures to end pregnancies, generally speaking, early on in the pregnancy, because it would be dangerous to the mother if she took that pill late in a pregnancy, by the way. But 2/3 of those procedures, which maybe you're horrified by, they take the pill, that particular abortion pill, as it's so called, okay? And so this issue is already becoming antiquated, but the more that we can resolve the issue and provide solutions for women, real solutions for girls and women, the more we deny the opportunity for that money laundering operation known as Planned Parenthood, because they get a ton of money from Democrat politicians who then get tons of money. Look it up for yourself. Planned Parenthood is responsible for donating millions of dollars over the years. And look it up yourself. Look at the last election, the midterm, how much they donated. Hundreds of thousands of dollars to these campaigns. Now they claim, oh, it's a special PAC and it's over. No. Come on. They get a lot of money. It's a money laundering operation. The more we can cut that out and the more that we can provide real solutions and real answers as far as better birth control answers, better birth control technology. And we never talk about it. You know why? Because nobody wants to talk about stopping the bleed. And I've talked about this before. I'm going to say it. So there's that technology. If you don't get your period, you don't get pregnant. It's all pretty simple stuff. I won't. If Greg Stocker were here, I don't even think I would go into this comment because Stocker says, don't talk about abortion. It's bad for ratings. And that's what Republicans have long felt, and it hurts Republicans. We have to have the conversation, right? But let me tell you something. If you know somebody, whether they were a rape victim, whether they had unwanted relations, whatever happened to them, and they had that procedure, first of all, it is not a spa day. The fact that women's groups stand up and on a stage and make it sound like it's something that's fabulous or a spa day, that's a lie. And the fact that this procedure, there are a lot of problems with the fallout from it. Nobody talks about the procedure itself. You know why? Because it's an uncomfortable, cringeworthy thing, right? Right now, you're like in your car. Oh, Dawn, can't you? Can we play more of Trump? Let's hear him talk about Barron. We will in just a second. But I got to tell you this, that the truth of the matter is, by Mike Pence writing the review he did, and I know he's pro-life. Let's listen.
And a very young man. This is a young man. He just turned 18. Oh, look at this.
Standing ovation.
A very young man.
Barron Trump.
Who's now going to college, got into every college he wanted to, and he made his choice. And he's a very good guy, I'll tell you. You know, I'm not allowed to call them boy, but he is my boy. He's my boy. They're all my boys, right? When you have sons, they can be any age. They're your boy. They're always going to be. And he's a very special guy. Barron Trump. This is the first time he's ever done this. Barron.
Standing ovation this whole time. I love it.
Where is Barron? Stand up. Look at him.
So, and he said, I love what he says. Welcome to the scene. I mean, and people go crazy. Very handsome, 6'7". So yeah, Henry Mashik couldn't wait to go to that. Henry's like, please, Dawn, I'm with Stalker. Don't talk about it. We don't want to talk about the cringy abortion stuff. I'm just saying that for Mike Pence to write the op-ed he did is sour grapes to me, and I'm just saying that this platform of peace, prosperity, making America great again, guess what? It saves lives. If you're pro-life, it saves lives. Many lives. Seniors' lives. It saves the lives of military men and women who Biden has no problem sending all over the world as the world's police. So it saves lives at every level. This is true. And Trump is proven as a pro-life president. Pro-life and pro-quality of life. And that's what I would say to you about it. And you can give me your take on it, 855-839-1210. I'll have to ask Kathy Barnett what she thinks about the fact that they don't specifically say, we are pro-life or we are anti-abortion or something like that. And so maybe that's what people have a problem with. But this platform, trust me, this platform saves lives. And around the corner, I'll talk about it. It's front cover of the Philadelphia Inquirer, the population loss. Also, when you look at how people aren't having babies right now. Families are not, they're either holding off on having kids, whether they're a young couple or whether we've got 3 girls and we want to have a boy. We want to try for a boy. Nobody's doing that right now. So for the first time, I mean, this is historic. If you look at the census and all the birth rates, we've now gone down every year for 2% plus for multiple years during the Biden administration. So if you want to talk about pro-life, let's be real. 855-839-1210. I've got to take a break. Remember, we have an important guest coming up around the corner. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get ready for a gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right, the season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and so much more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure, cholesterol, low energy, testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over. Unwrap the joy of a healthier you at res-q.com. Do it today.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit PennDOT.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit NJDiet.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head and just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
It's here, the summer heat, and it's getting hotter, and that heat's just pouring into your home. Need a solution? Trust PJ Fitzpatrick for the perfect new insulated and vented roof. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. PJ Fitzpatrick, voted best of Philly, installs most roofs in just 1 day. Set up a free design consultation. Plus, they have special financing if you need it. Visit TrustPJ.com today. That's TrustPJ.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JawbraEnhance.com/try.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Donald J. Trump, big rally last night in Miami. Crowd loved him. Listen in.
When pilots walk into the White House, he says he used to fly planes. He didn't. When truckers come in, he says he used to drive a truck. He didn't. When Jewish people are here, he always attended synagogues, he said. The Jewish people. He didn't attend a synagogue. Did he ever see a synagogue? He doesn't know what a synagogue is. When black people come, he spent his Sundays in black churches. All of it's false, all of it's fake. He's a fake. Unfortunately, he was like that in Afghanistan. He was like that with Russia, Ukraine, and he was like that on October 7th and the attack in Israel. He didn't know what he was doing.
So that was DJT last night, having a blast and really basking in the glow of his latest great numbers. And mostly I think he gets such energy and joy from the crowd and his kids there. I know that his sons spoke, Don Jr. spoke, then Eric spoke. We didn't hear Barron speaking, but Barron sure was popular. But I started out this morning at 10 talking about the Cook report and the latest polling averages showing Biden trailing Trump by more than 2 points at 44.3%. Real Clear Politics average also has him down more than 3 points. And the Cook report says Trump's current numbers among Black and Latino voters are incompatible with any plausible Democratic victory scenario. That's one of the lines that caught my attention as you think about this, that Biden continues to underperform, especially with the black community, with black voters and Hispanic voters relative, if you look at what happened in 2020. So Biden, even though they met yesterday, and I talked a lot about this, that the different Congressional Black Caucus as well as Congressional Democrats having these different meetings, 2 different meetings at least that we know of, and very worried about what's going to happen at the top of the ticket and what's going to trickle down to affect all the other Dems, especially those career politicians. So we have Kathy Ingham, and I'm delighted to welcome. I met Kathy the first time, Kathy Ingham, with another Kathy, a dear friend of mine, Kathy Barnett, in Montgomery County, as you are part of the Force. May the Force be with you. And we're talking about Trump, Trump Force 47. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. Thank you, Dawn, for having me on.
Absolutely. So take me through, if you would, talking about Trump Force 47 and what that means for our entire region, but specifically what's going on tomorrow in Chester County.
Okay. Well, Trump Force 47 is really a national program coming down from the Republican National Committee and rolled down to the PAGOP. I am the regional field director in Chester County. There are 67 counties in Pennsylvania, and there are 20 offices that are opening to be Trump offices, and Chester County is one of them. The more populated counties have their own office, and some of the less populated in the north share an office. And we're very excited to have our office opening tomorrow. It's at the Chester County Republican Committee headquarters at 15 South Church Street. We're very excited, Dawn, that you're going to be a speaker there. The doors open at 5, and the program starts at 6, and it'll be a brief program. But the Trump Force 47 program is about engaging an army of citizens to take back our White House and turn, especially Chester County, red again. And and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a swing state, and we have a very engaged staff working very hard. And what we're doing is, in the past, I'm also on the Republican committee. In the past, the committee would go out, push out literature, and hold events to educate people on voters. It's a different strategy. Right now, we are engaging an army of voters to do that work. And we're asking for, it's called 10 for Trump, and we're looking for a small commitment of time to make a big impact. So you can, if you join our team, you can go to TrumpForce47.com and join the team, and you'll go to training if you want to be a captain, and you'll get campaign sidekick, and you will go and you will get 25 names of low propensity voters. That means voters that are Republicans that don't come out to vote. And the goal, and there's a script in there that, a survey that you ask at the door. And the idea is to ensure and let that voter know that this election is critical for us to take back our country. And we need every vote. We need their vote especially. And then if you get 10 of those to verbally tell you they will do it, that's 10 for Trump. And there's a reward program. You're going to get a hat, and you can get more people on your list and keep going. If you get 15 more, you get another reward. If you get 45, apparently you have an invite where Trump is going to be at an event at the end of the election. But we want to get Trump back in the White House, so we need everybody's help. We also have a volunteer program for those people that don't really want to go door knocking. You can be a poll watcher. We have an election integrity team now that's you can learn to be a poll watcher, and we have other ways you can help, like help us with phone calls to call voters or write postcards. So I hope I answered them.
You're asking for some new recruits that we need. A lot of times, Kathy, I know that there's a feeling of frustration, especially with people who have this this feeling that, oh my goodness, with this week, for example, President Joe Biden coming out and saying that, no, he is against the SAVE Act. He is against any kind of legislation or official proclamation that would prevent non-citizens from voting. And so there are people who feel like, oh, my vote doesn't matter. And part of that has to do with election integrity. But with what you're saying, this is a positive way, right, to get out there and to feel like, okay, I'm not just talking about this, I'm not complaining, I'm doing something.
So we have a lot of patriots in our country that are very frustrated with what's going on. And my message to them, my dad served at D-Day, and he was in World War II for 4 years. I am serving for 4 months, and I want everybody to take that challenge and just get up. Don't worry about what's going on. Get up and do something about it. And Trump's message is we need this election to be too big to rig. We know that they're going to do some shenanigans. We know that there's concern about illegal immigrants coming and voting, and that's why we have a very strong election integrity team. We are trying to recruit 100,000 people over the whole nation to be poll watchers, and we have teams of lawyers at the ready on election day where you can escalate issues. So we're doing all we can to prevent fraud. I think Chester County in particular was successful in challenging in court our voter services to not have any unmanned drop boxes. So now we have manned drop boxes so people can't stuff the mailboxes, and they're not open 24 hours, and park rangers come and get the ballots and drive them securely to voter services, and those drop boxes are locked up overnight. So if you do, we are promoting early voting and mail-in ballots, but I would encourage your listeners to take your mail-in ballot to a secure drop box and not putting it in the post office where you will lose your chain of custody.
Yeah. I also noticed, so we hope everybody comes out. I'll be there. Who is Jeff Bartos going to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeff Bartos, and we are. There's a congressman tentatively also coming, so I want to make sure he's coming before I name his name. We have Neil Young, who is coming. He's running against Chrissy Houlihan's seat in Chester County. He's a Great Valley school teacher who, we all know what went on in Great Valley recently. So, so we're going to have an engaging presentation. We're very excited you're joining us. And Rossi Terzian, our chairman of the Chester County Republican Committee, will be welcoming us as an opening.
Wonderful. I also noted that you have a lot of fun events if people go to either, like you said, if it's Trump Force 47, Republican, ccc.com has a calendar for you. But you have, I love this, and this is a great idea, that you actually have some watch parties for the convention. The RNC obviously is next week. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's one already scheduled. I think that one might be Dwayne Milne's. I'm not sure. But actually, the staff at the Trump Force 47, we're planning watch parties every night next week. Nice. And we're planning 2 large ones on the convention night. One will be in Philly and one will be in the suburbs. But look for those on that calendar. It's on the Republican National Committee calendar. Will be posted. Those are mostly Chester County. But every county lead is planning watch parties in their area. And we had watch parties for the debate. And we had one in Malvern. It was very well attended. We had a lot of fun. So we encourage you to join us. We want people to come out. We want you to get to know each other. We want you to be bold and not be intimidated by the Democrats trying to cancel us. We have a lot to be proud of, and we need to get our candidate back in the White House. So I hope you all come out and meet some of your conservative neighbors and friends.
Yeah, it's and I'll have some of my family members who live out in Chester County. They've said that they'll attend too. But this is the Trump Force 47 Victory Office grand opening. So it's tomorrow. Doors open at 5. Program starts at 6, and I think it just goes till 7. So it's not a big long program or anything of that nature. But it's 15 South Church Street, Westchester, PA. I really hope to see you there. You know, Susie Cool and her husband were so thoughtful, and they sent me like the pink Trump hat. But at the last event that was where I met you, Kathy, which was the Montgomery County Trump Force 47 opening, they did have some one group that was outside that was selling, some fun memorabilia like hats and stuff. Will you have things for sale? By the way?
I'm not sure. I can call. That was the Ben Salem Trump store. That's a good suggestion. I might give him a call, ask him to come down.
Because there was some food and drinks. It was nice. But I will say this, because I wanted to buy some things for gifts. And then by the time, because I was, me yakking too much, and then they had already closed up shop. But, yeah, I hope they're there because it's fun to see all the latest stuff that you can get. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll see if I can arrange that today. And I'm glad you were yakking because that's how I met you.
Yeah, and there is... I will say this to you, Kathy, that these types of events, it's just so much fun because you are with like-minded people, and there is an energy to that, I believe, to feel a fellowship with our fellow conservatives, fellow patriots. That is hard to explain, but when you walk into a room of patriots like you're talking about, I just had so much fun, and these events are just a blast.
We had one on Sunday with Scott Pressler, and it was jam-packed, and the energy in that room was unbelievable, even though it was boiling hot because so many people came. But we're going to knock our AC way down for tomorrow.
Nice.
So,
well, we're supposed to break the heat wave tonight at 8 o'clock, so cross our fingers.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll have that on our side. Kathy, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'll continue to promote this, and we'll put it out on social media, promote it tomorrow morning as well. But thanks for calling in, just getting us fired up as we need some, we need to believe in the force and get some new recruits.
Very good. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Kathy Ingham, thanks a million. See you tomorrow night, 15 South Church Street, right there in Westchester, PA, and it's the Trump Force 47 Victory Office grand opening. I love that they use Trump Force because... Remember I told you this, that when Biden spoke in Philadelphia, I'll never forget that. Oh, my gosh. And it was it was like Darth Biden. As I don't know if it was my husband or maybe one of my kids. It was like, wow, that's like a Darth Vader with the red behind him. So I love it. We need some dun 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 dun. The Star Wars. I don't know if you guys are into Star Wars. My boys love, and I'm going to say boys because Trump calls his grown sons boys. So there. So many of you will say they're young men, Dawn. They're not your boys.
I used to like Star Wars. I kind of soured after the 8th movie.
You soured?
Yeah. I really didn't like that movie, and it kind of killed everything for me.
Jimmy Kelly, we've got Andrew training in. Jimmy, you like Star Wars? Do you do any Star Wars impersonations?
Oh.
What are you, knocking over Andrew?
Oh, man.
Jeez
knocking
Louise.
over drinks here.
What is going
we're a
on,
mess in
man?
here.
You're lucky the boss is not here and he's somewhere on a beach chasing his toddler, because if Greg Stocker saw that spill, not that it happened, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing, Mom.
Nothing to see
Dad.
here.
Nothing to see here. All right, let's take a break. We'll get them some paper towels. They just spilled all over the place. We could have a Greg Stocker, soundboard on that one with him yelling and screaming. You're really lucky, guys. I'm just saying. All right, we'll take a break. 855-839-1210. Be right back. Eek.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Woody Harrelson has a serious disdain for the cell phone.
I like to be in touch with people in a way, but I don't like the appendage on my appendage.
So spot on.
As he's saying that on a device that you can only get on your phone.
Has he done a lot of drugs and alcohol?
Oh,
Because he
of course.
sounds like his brain has just gone into slow motion. As Woody Harrelson said, the last thing you really do on your phone for the most part is actually make phone calls.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
By registering for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event, you'll see real statements from Crash Proof Retirement clients documenting how the exclusive Crash Proof Retirement system credits double-digit interest returns, even during the worst of recent stock market downturns.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. During COVID, when everything was going down in the stock market, we saw our investment with Crash Proof grow 15%, which was unheard of. Markets weren't growing that way. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. We don't lose anything. We keep every penny that we invested. The worst that's going to happen is you keep your money. Crash Proof gives me great peace of mind. And I would recommend anybody who sees this or hears this to give Crash Proof a call. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in. And you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high. It's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Want money back for your home improvement projects this summer? Call CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers. Family owned and operated, serving Montgomery and Bucks counties for over 50 years. With 24/7 service and trained technicians, CNC will make sure your system is running efficiently all summer long. Refer a friend, and if they purchase a new full HVAC system, you both receive money back as a thank you for supporting our family-owned business. Schedule an estimate today at cc-hvac.com/referral.
Keswick Theater welcomes the Oak Ridge Boys on August 2nd, the Little River Band August 10th, and the Righteous Brothers on August 20th. Tickets are on sale at keswicktheater.com. That's keswicktheater.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMSS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
So I better see you there, Trump Force 47, especially if you're in Chester County, Westchester, obviously 15 South Church Street. Be there, be square. I guess Jeff Bartos and others will be there, some surprise guests. That should be fun. Wouldn't it be a hoot if Trump showed up? That would be a blast. Then you would feel so bad if you didn't show up. Or what if Laura showed up? Or what if Don Jr. showed up? See what I'm saying? So there. So I better see you. I know Dom did part of this story yesterday, which is a hoot, but we do want to get into the president of the NEA, who I've talked to, the National Education Association. Remember, the NEA was here for their convention in Philadelphia I'm talking about. Her name's Becky Pringle, and we've talked about her before. And even, the media, so-called mainstream media, was calling it an impassioned monologue. That woman was screaming. And this was in Philadelphia, talking about the future of education and calling for widespread changes to make the system, more equal, which the answer, of course, is vouchers. And, right, we've talked about lifeline scholarships for the worst performing and poorest districts, that sort of thing. She doesn't want that. But here's Becky.
During every moment of change or perceived chaos, we will remember who we are. We are the ones who helped to shape the heart of this nation's hopes and dreams. We are the ones who hold steadfast to the belief of the plausibility of the possible. We are the heirs of all who did this work before us. We must keep going.
Don't cry for me, Argentino. She reminds me of, what is this, Evita?
We get to do this work. We will do this work.
You have to play a little Evita.
Because our students are depending on us to win all the things.
Oh.
NEA, we have to win all the things. All the things. All the things.
All the things.
Are depending on us to win all the things.
To win all the things.
You
know the thing. Wow. Clips of her speech went viral, and people were ripping into it and just having some fun with it, comparing it to a scene in the hit sitcom The Office, where Dwight, do you remember I don't know if you like The Office. I love The Office. My sons loved it too. But remember when he's a paper salesman at a paper salesman convention, and then he delivers this wild address based on Italian dictator Mussolini's old speeches. And if you've never seen that episode, it's really funny. But they were just saying, she went off the rails as she was saying all the things. But she was addressing 7,000 people at the NEA's annual meeting and the Representative Assembly here in Philadelphia. Remember, Biden was supposed to speak, and then just as he was supposed to speak that day, and then there was a strike among some of the union members, and so he wasn't going to cross their picket line, and maybe he needed a nap anyway, so he did not speak. But she's calling for widespread change. I don't know if you have any more of that nutty speech of hers, but she's calling for widespread change in education. She says to create a racially and socially just and equitable system. Equitable, different than equal. And there's another story about how much she spent on her hair, and that one has gone viral as well. So apparently she spent a fortune on the hair, the wig, whatever.
You just watch the hair. She works very hard to get her hair like that, And what they do, they hit your hair.
You know what it almost sounds like, and you hate to use this, but if you ever saw that movie way back in the day called Mommy Dearest, you're just waiting for her to scream, "No more wire hangers ever!" Or, "Christina, bring me the axe!"
You're scaring us, Jimmy.
Well, it's a scary movie if you ever see it back in the day.
So 855-839-1210. We got to take a quick break so we stay at the top of the hour, but thought we'd have a little fun with old Becky being mocked for what people were just calling unhinged. The Thing. We'll have to isolate that and have some fun with that.
We have drops of it because Nick said, "Jim, you got to take this audio and use your talent to just cut all this down." He's like, "I want a page of drops with this whole audio."
Gosh.
It's in wide orbit, so we do have drops of this.
Perfect.
All the things!
All the things.
All the things! All the things!
I feel sad for her family. So Dom had this yesterday. Is that right? Dom Giordano had
he had
fun with
story.
this.
Yeah, about an $8,000 hairdo.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, and she has short hair. I don't know about it. Maybe
And this is where your tax dollars. This is where your tax dollars are going, folks.
Or those high union fees that teachers feel like they have to pay. All right, 855-839-1210. Take a quick break. Get a great guest around the corner. Be right back.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
An 84-year-old woman who went missing from a Lower Merion Senior Center was found dead. The Philadelphia Parking Authority is warning people to watch out for a phishing scam sending texts about unpaid tickets. And opening statements are expected to start today in Alec Baldwin's trial for the Rust movie shooting.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You know that I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app, dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And during the summer, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Head over to FanDuel.com/Dom and make the most out of your summer. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, FanDuel official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but at First Harvest Credit Union, we can help you grow your financial future with our growth savings account. You can earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth savings account and watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Do they have a budget yet? Can you imagine if in the private sector, and or quite frankly in your own home, every year, because all of us have to balance the checking account, right? None of us can live that way. Can you imagine in your business if you had your budget due and you have to make all your plans? It's amazing to me how Governor Josh Shapiro, and it's embarrassing, as they've gone way overdue. The budget deadline, as you know, for Pennsylvania was June 30th. And so the fact that they've gone way over, and then the fact that education here is the key sticking point, it's a sin, as I say. But let's revisit this issue with our friend Eric Telford, Senior VP, the Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Commonwealth Foundation. Eric, good morning. Thanks for coming in again to share your expertise.
Good morning, Dawn. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, do you I know that Governor Josh Shapiro had, and he has teenagers and kids, and he was kind of making a play on words, that trying to be cool and hip, and doing those little viral videos of how he gets S done. Do you think he gets S done? That's one of your headlines as you're writing about Governor Josh Shapiro.
Yeah, we put out a report saying he ain't got S done. As much as he likes to play pretend, I think the only person who seems to be impressed by Governor Shapiro's record is Governor Shapiro. And that's evident if you look at his social media feed. As you mentioned, he's doing great as a social media influencer, but by all objective measures, he's doing a pretty poor job as governor. And I think that's evident in what you mentioned of now missing his second budget deadline, with negotiations looking like they're getting farther apart rather than closer together, given his lack of leadership, and the fact that he really hasn't gotten anything done legislatively as much as he likes to pretend he has.
Well, I look at how the Philadelphia Inquirer writes this, and they're saying that Shapiro has issued several clear-throated statements, by the way, in support of Biden. He's very busy supporting Biden. I know that they met, I think, in a coffee shop, because he said he was very busy over the weekend dealing with the budget. But we know that he's been busy meeting with Biden as well. He was one of the governors as a Democrat who was meeting with Biden about the future of Biden's campaign. But what do you when you see this proposed, it's $48 billion budget proposed by the governor, and the governor says, oh, no, this is a focus on education and a focus on the economy and focused on the people. What do you say to that kind of headline?
I mean, I say it's really out of sync with what Shapiro campaigned on, saying he would be a moderate governor who would reach across the aisle and get things done. And the budget proposal he put forward this year was dead on arrival in the legislature. It was everything that the far left wanted and nothing to compromise with what Senate Republicans or House Republicans would be looking for.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, they're the largest champions of helping Josh Shapiro keep his campaign promises on things like Lifeline scholarships. And so as much as he pretends he's working on the budget, he's great at political theater, but I truly believe he's pretending, because it would be even more stunning if he's actually putting in as much effort as he claims, and budget negotiations are getting farther and farther apart. I see him at the head of the negotiating table. It belongs to Josh Shapiro. I don't know where he is, but Don, I don't know if you followed the theatrics last night, where Jordan Harris and House Democrats kept a hearing open for 5.5 hours, leaving Seth Grove and House Republicans sitting there until 1 a.m, claiming they were going to come back for a vote on an appropriations bill. After 5.5 hours, they came back and said, "Just kidding," adjourned at 1 a.m. Like, this is not a serious process. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, and you're talking about somebody from the Jordan Harris, obviously a Democrat from Philadelphia, and that's just shows you the unprofessional nature and the unserious nature, right, of what's going on here. I mean, to say this as a House Appropriations chair, I'm talking about Jordan Harris, who you just referred to say, hey, expect a late meeting in order to vote on these different issues and materials for the budget. And then to keep people till the wee hours of the morning, it's unprofessional, but doesn't it show something else? That to them, it's to Jordan Harris and the Democrats, this is it's not really a priority, right? It's a joke.
Right. It's almost as though they were openly trolling the Republicans. The Democrats weren't sitting there in the committee room waiting. They were the ones calling the shots. They're controlling the timing. They didn't give their colleagues on the other side of an aisle a heads up on what to expect. And that's disrespectful when people are working till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
That shows that you're not seriously working in good faith to reach a bipartisan agreement. And it also shows that if Josh Shapiro were really leading, really stepping in and running the negotiations, theatrics and stunts like this just wouldn't be happening. I really think since he had everything blow up in his face last year, leading to the 6-month budget impasse, all of his messaging has not been about working across the aisle and working with the legislature to get things done. His rhetoric has been, I don't run the legislature. It's up to the House and Senate to strike a deal. Very hands-off leadership approach. And that's not what Pennsylvanians elected him to do.
Right. And so if you're there, I mean, I keep seeing that education is the sticking point. So what else is going on here? I mean, and first of all, is there any accountability for what happened? To tell people to start something at 8:30 at night and then, expect them to sit there and then go, ha, 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 just kidding. You can go home at 1 a.m. Like, what is there, first of all, any censure or any ramification that could happen because of that? Because it's not funny. And people have families and lives and kids and have drive time. It could be argued that joke puts people on the road when they're bleary-eyed and tired, right? So there are a lot of serious, I would be furious. But is there any fallout from that? I don't see, even in the headlines, like Penn Live, here's a headline. In an unusual series of events, the PA House of Representatives Appropriation Committee started a meeting Tuesday night, 8:30, ended it Wednesday just before 1, despite taking no action. The headline should be something different. If you and I were writing that headline, right, we would write something.
Right. I think you're right on the money there, Don. The only accountability comes from people like you and me and others that need to get the word out about what's happening, because it's not being well reported, and there are no repercussions that I'm aware of to hold Jordan Harris and others accountable for this. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges with Pennsylvania's state budget process overall. There's no accountability. There's a legal June 30th deadline, but there are no real repercussions when it's missed. It's missed routinely. There was a court ruling years ago that says you still have to keep paying government employees. It's not like when the federal government shuts down. The Pennsylvania government keeps operating without a budget, and that's not good for fiscal stewardship. That's a clear sign of abdication of leadership by our elected officials, and it's something that I think ultimately the voters are there to hold accountability over, and they'll have that opportunity this November.
Yeah, amen. Now, one headline says that the fair funding for education is still the central sticking point in these budget talks. And so can you give us any insight into how what that negotiation looks like?
Sure. There's a big debate in the negotiations between sides over how much to increase funding to public schools. And of course, that's the side of the coin that the Democrats want to look at. On the Republican side, and in line with what Governor Shapiro promised, Republicans are advocating to say, okay, we're willing to compromise there, but let's make sure we help out those kids that are trapped in chronically failing schools where they're not even learning to read or write, and they're being set on a path for a terrible future. Let's help them. Let's give them a lifeline. Let's do what the governor promised. And Democrats just reject that notion outright. So there have been several attempts at compromise proposals. In February, Governor Shapiro floated the idea of a tax credit alternative as another means to try to pursue that program. Senate Republicans passed a bill along those lines. Governor Shapiro's spokesman came out and said he doesn't support that bill. So I think what we're seeing is a sticking point over how much to increase public education funding without any willingness to look at other ways. Things we know that more and more money hasn't worked to fix these chronically failing schools, and it's time to try something different. They're completely unyielding and unwilling to look at any alternatives.
Well, and I forgive me, but I know that we talked about this, and I've talked about this, that the proposal was that if they really put this through and just taxed people, it was, and what was that number, Eric? Was it $2,000 a family in taxes that they would be burdened with if they really just said tax dollars are going to pay for what ultimately Democrats want as far as education funding?
Right. I don't have it in front of me, but I think you're right, Dawn. It was
like
about $2,000 or $2,500, something in that range.
Crazy. In these tough times, like the average family is going to be able to cough that up when there are certainly better ways to get that done and make education equal. You also, in the Commonwealth Foundation, and you're writing about this, talking about the analysis comparing, looking at the job performance of Shapiro. Can you take me through some of that as far as Shapiro's performance and the legislate? You start out by saying, despite having a full-time legislature, 111 bills signed by Shapiro from the beginning of his term. Can you take me through some of these job performance numbers and the analysis and research that's been done, even comparing Shapiro to others in his job over the past half century?
Yeah, absolutely, Dawn. And, it goes back to what we said before. If you look at Josh Shapiro's social media, you would think he's just getting loads and loads of things done, but he has actually been the least productive legislatively. He's been the least productive governor of Pennsylvania in at least 50 years. And I say at least because that's just as far back as we had time to analyze. So probably even longer. And many of those predecessors, most of them, in fact, were dealing with divided government. So we compared Josh Shapiro to his predecessors and showed that he's been the least productive Pennsylvania governor in at least 50 years. But then we also looked at other states with divided government, because Josh Shapiro's biggest defense that he trots out is, hey, I'm the only governor with a full-time divided legislature in the country. The reality is there are 7 other states with divided government, and Josh Shapiro is underperforming all of them. As of June 30th, he had signed into law 111 bills. Glenn Youngkin of Virginia, with a part-time legislature, signed more than 1,600 during the same period. So there are governors who are proving able. There are 7 other governors. Every governor in the country facing divided government has proven more able to reach across the aisle and get things done than Josh Shapiro. And that's not something you'd know by looking at his social media accounts or even the headlines here in Pennsylvania. So we feel it's important for Pennsylvanians to know about his record. I would add, Don, that if you look at some of these bills, he's touting, I saw a post the other day, I just signed 11 new bills. So I went and looked and said, gosh, wow, what's he getting done? 11 bills in one day. Let's see. One of these that he enacted into law now specifies that tow truck drivers can drive the wrong way on one-way roads and ignore other traffic rules if a police officer directs them to do so. Another mandates that tow truck drivers must photograph an illegally parked vehicle first to demonstrate it's illegally parked before towing it. So these are not transformative reforms that are improving the lives of Pennsylvanians.
Now, tell me a little bit, the proposal by state Senate Republicans that they're trying to get this paid for as far as the legislation, and it would alter the legislation passed in the state house last month. Is that correct? To satisfy the state court mandate that would eliminate the funding gap between the states, they say the wealthiest and the poorest school districts. So can you go into a little bit with and I know that they announced this, they laid this out last week, I believe, but talking about how they would get this done and pay for this.
Well, I know there have been several bills passed by both chambers, Dawn, that are essentially political posturing because we know nothing's going to get done by a standalone bill. So there's a lot of political theater. And the attempt is to work it into a budget deal.
Right.
And so both sides are kind of staking out what they want to see in the budget and passing deals to spell that out. But I think realistically, the only way something is going to happen, the only thing that the government is required to do is pass a budget. And so as we saw last year, That's the primary vehicle to get pretty much anything serious beyond tow truck reform done. And that's what's really at stake behind closed doors. And we don't know all the details of where that's landing right now. But again, based on the antics of last night, I think we see things getting farther and farther apart, even though for weeks Josh Shapiro has said we're so close to a deal. I think things look more likely to blow up than to land some kind of bipartisan compromise that will get this budget across the finish line.
And so what does it mean when, and I know that the last time around, Shapiro did finally sign, it was another late night situation, but I think it was, 5 months? I forget how late it was last time, but what does it affect when we have a budget that is so late in the approval process?
Yeah, and you're right, Donna. It was about 5.5 months last year, I believe mid-December, when they finally wrapped up both the appropriations and the code bills to finalize the budget. There are eventually repercussions, as I mentioned, due to that court ruling a few years back. It's not like there's a government shutdown, so things continue to operate, but eventually, as we saw last year, certain entities will start to feel the pain. You could get to the beginning of a school year without funds flowing to public schools. You look at things like higher education, libraries, other entities that depend on funding measures that we started to see last year, but I would say those are months out. It wasn't until 3 months in that you really started to see certain entities feel the pain of not being funded. Yeah. And so I think, again, that goes to the lack of accountability to actually get a budget done by the June 30th legal deadline. Yeah. But eventually there will be some repercussions here. There's a delayed effect before they onset.
Yeah, it's a sin, as I say. I know when my kids were younger, and it was then Governor Tom Wolf, and whenever they went over, I felt like, especially the private schools, and especially if you have a small Catholic school like my kids went to, a small Christian school, they wouldn't get their books because even though it's a private school, the state is obligated, obviously, to give the books, and so it was almost like you felt like you were being held hostage. That the kids wouldn't even get the books.
Absolutely. One thing that doesn't stop are the paychecks to these full-time lawmakers who aren't getting the job done. I know last year several Republicans in the legislature voluntarily said they wouldn't accept their paycheck until the budget was done. I feel like that shouldn't be a voluntary measure. At a certain point, that's mandated that they don't get paid until they do their job.
And as far as higher education, and that's a piece of this, not just public, schools K through 12, but for this budget, one of the sticking points, as I understand it, is funding for, the state's University of Pittsburgh, Penn State, Temple, Lincoln universities, all of those with sticking points in the budget talks.
You're absolutely right, Don. Higher education funding is a big sticking point in this budget, both direct funding for public colleges and universities, but also some of Shapiro's plans to provide more aid to students to go to the college of their choice. So it's kind of ironic to me that Shapiro and Democrats are fully supportive of school choice if you make it out of high school, but not for students trapped in failing schools that aren't going to be able to matriculate out of high school because they don't learn to read or write. Yeah. They don't have any qualms about public dollars, taxpayer dollars going to private or religious higher education institutions for those folks. But if you're trapped in a failing K-12 school, I guess different rules apply.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, I did see that the ranking Republican member of that education committee was talking about this, what you're talking about, Representative Jesse Topper, and he was quoted as saying that he was trying to, the goal by the Republicans, take the politics out of the state-related university funding decisions, among others, and then replace it with data. And that's what I see throughout, that whether it's, even the data on defining, poverty or defining the districts or any of this, they're even fighting over basically the data and it would seem that one side wants it all to be political. I mean, that's what I read between the lines.
I think you're reading correctly. The tea leaves there, to me, show exactly what you're seeing, Dawn. And it's a shame that a serious and important process like the state budget is being hijacked for partisan means. We should expect more from our elected officials, and we should expect more from a governor who should be leading, but instead is sitting and waiting for others to figure it out so he can swoop in at the end and have a photo op signing a bill. But without really showing leadership to do what he campaigned on and what he promised, to work across the aisle and broker bipartisan agreement. That's just not happening.
Eric Telford, Senior VP of Public Affairs, Commonwealth Foundation, thanks so much for your time. You're always generous with your time in taking us inside an important issue like this. Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. Commonwealth Foundation, as you well know, nonprofit research, a think tank, if you will. I know that I'm looking through this just to try to see if there's anything breaking as far as the budget, and they remain in talks as far as I can see. But what a stinky, slimy thing to do by a local Democrat from Philadelphia to say, to have people just waiting and say, we're going to stay right here, call the meeting, and just for hours and hours, and then come back at 1 o'clock in the morning as people respectfully are believing that individual. My goodness, there should be some kind of a ramification for that. And it's a sin that I don't see, we'll continue to search for this. Somebody in the media at least should be calling them out other than us here at Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We'll continue to watch for this. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. A lot more to talk about. Trump news, Biden news, local news, regional news. We got it all for you right here on The Dawn Show.
Join Team Kale and Company once again this year for the Bend to Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. From Philly to Atlantic City, you can do the ride or just donate to support the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. That's Ben, the number 2, shore.org. Let's show everyone how WPHT and Odyssey supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. SBBCF provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth. Sponsored by Gelman Law. Need a criminal defense attorney or personal injury? Visit GelmanLawFirm.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You know me. You know I love easy living. You want the best. You want relaxation and invigoration. You want to transform your outdoor living space. You go to Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of Southeastern PA because it's not a hot tub, it's a jacuzzi. With Jacuzzi, you get the quality, you get the price, you get the whole thing.
Visit Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of SCPA.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Join Nick Kale and WPHT in supporting the Bend to the Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. Ride 30 miles, 65 miles, or just make a donation to the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. Sign up with the code NIC1210 to get $25 off the registration fee. That's shore.org. Promo code NIC1210. The Bend to Shore Bike Tour provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
So Joe Biden speaking out. We know that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has avoided, this is making headlines, has avoided endorsing Joe Biden, and that's not a good look. We have to think about Biden buying some time. But the Democrats are warning he could lose in a landslide. That's a CNN headline. So Biden, we've been talking a lot about the fact that he has been dealing with, working toward this biggity big NATO speech tomorrow. But he just has, you have some audio of him that he just spoke. Let's listen in. Who's that? Wow.
This is family.
Can we combine her with the Becky from the NEA talking about the thing?
This is your home. This is your family. We couldn't be more honored that with all those NATO leaders waiting for you down the street that you came here to the House of Labor. Yes. We are your NATO. That's what I say. In the U.S. So we are, again, here to support the record that you've had of creating millions of new jobs, bringing manufacturing back to this country.
Really? Is that true? Let's fact check that.
Investing in clean energy and semiconductors and whole new industries, creating good union jobs with labor standards. Incredible. So we just want to say, Mr. President, you support unions, you support working families. You've always had our back. We have your back.
Hey, folks. Thank you. Please sit down. Hey, look, number one. The way I look at it, I was thinking about this last night, knowing I'm going to be here and going from here to the NATO summit. We have two strong organizations in America that I look to for our security. One, literally, and I mean this sincerely, is NATO. NATO, a joint assembly of democracies that made sure we're keeping the peace and no one's going to screw around with it. It's the strongest it's ever been. And I think of you as my domestic NATO. Not a joke. You're the ones
Not a joke.
beyond me, and you know this better than I do. Beyond me, it's all about whether or not we're going to grow the economy, whether we're going to give working people a shot. And I told you, and because a lot of you were there with me all the way back when I was a kid, and I'm only 42, but when I was a kid.
All right, so he's not. This is not. They're not breaking any news here. He joined the AFL-CIO's executive council meeting. So these are the union leaders, the leadership. He met with them this morning. I guess it was mid-morning, right? Because the 10 to 4, got to stay within those parameters. But he met with them this morning and was talking to the leaders of the major U.S. labor unions, talking about their, quote, shared commitment to defeating Trump this November. That was the word from his campaign. As you know, labor votes, they've always been in play. Trump got those labor votes in 2016, but those labor votes were key to Biden in 2020. And that is especially here in Pennsylvania, as well as Michigan, as well as Nevada. Now think about what I led with, what I've been talking about with the Cook Report and talking about the swing states, and some key swing states, including Nevada, are no longer in a toss-up column. Pennsylvania is still in play. I believe in that Cook Report, that latest one, I believe Michigan was still in play. But Democrats in the Congress remain deeply divided over whether or not to fall in line behind Biden or to urge him to step aside, as we're seeing because of persistent questions about his health and his mental acuity. Biden says he's fit to serve, but he has said, or his campaign has said, he understands the questions, although we've heard him. I mean, he was quite angry about it and grumpy when he was addressing it. I will just say that. So that's the latest from President Joe Biden. Your take, if you have one, on Biden. What does this mean as he meets with these leaders? And as well, like I say, the fact that just today, Nancy Pelosi, there she is on MSNBC just this morning, and encouraging her colleagues on Capitol Hill to wait as Biden hosts NATO leaders in Washington this week. And so she said, quote, let's just hold off. Whatever you're thinking, either tell somebody privately, but you don't have to put that on the table until we see how we go this week. How we go this week. What do you think she means by that? Does that mean that with the NATO biggity big press conference tomorrow afternoon, that they're all watching this, that Nancy is watching this, saying, well, let's just wait and see how he does after a pretty busy week, a vigorous week, and if he can read the prompter okay, and maybe he will answer some questions, but I doubt it. So your take on all of this, 855-839-1210 is the number to call. As I've said, it doesn't really matter to me what the Democrats are saying. It doesn't really matter even what the union leadership, because union leadership does not necessarily represent the actual union workers. There's a difference. We've seen that. It goes to those delegates that I started out Monday morning talking about, 3,900, those delegates. And if they turn on Biden, and reportedly they're meeting right now, if they somehow turn on Biden because it's written, their mandate that they're supposed to follow is their conscience. And so if they feel in all good conscience that Biden is not fit to serve and cannot serve out the 4 years, would they turn on him? Would they betray him? Wow, that would be incredible. So it's the delegates, as I've been saying all along, they are the kingmakers. 855-839-1210. Well, that was really boring. I hope we have more Trump clips, because the Trump clips, I don't know, they just make me happy. I should read you the song Sunshine. We go like Trump on my shoulders.
I mean, from that Biden speech, he did slur a couple times, if you wanted to go through that, too.
Oh, Henry. Henry.
Too low-hanging fruit?
No, it's just, I don't know. It's just, here's the thing I would say. To me, personally, this is nothing new.
Right.
It's old news. I have felt for a long time that he really wasn't all there cognitively, and that he did not have all the mental acuity, and I recognized that he was better between those hours of 10 to 4. And so to me, it's nothing new. The only thing that's new is that Democrats are flipping out because Biden is doing so poorly, and that it was on full display. I mean, that one moment in the debate, that Thursday night with Trump, when he just, I remember it got quiet. My husband and I were watching it, and Larry goes, oh man, this is bad. And that the first one, remember that? It was like 6 minutes in or whatever, and it was just like,
yeah.
It was just, oh, geez. It was bad. And now to learn that, it's like cringy when you think the guy might have Parkinson's, and they're like allegedly pumping him up with Botox and other things in his neck. And oh my God, it really
Tanning
does.
him.
It does become like elder abuse. And then when you know this, how much stress to put somebody through this level of stress, it becomes abusive. And quite frankly, we've been abused. We, the people, have been abused by these horrible policies, the crime, the economy, the energy policy. We could go through 20 things, right? And so now we're all being abused by these Democrat bureaucrats and those who are literally propping up an individual just to win. And so to them, it's clearly all about winning. It's not about serving the American people or caring about our safety and our security. So to me, it makes me nauseous. So do we have any more Trump rally? I would much rather, I'm sorry, but I would much rather go to the Trump rally.
Yeah, we can talk about him talking about Bidenomics and how Americans aren't taking any vacations.
Yeah.
Under Biden and Harris, half of Americans are not taking a vacation at all this summer because they can't afford to do it. Most say it's because the cost of daily life is so high, no matter what they make, they can't. Because, they like to say 20%, 29%, 26%, 31%. I think your real inflation is way over 50%, and I believe that. Wow. Meanwhile, Crooked Joe has spent almost 50% of his presidency on vacation. Almost all of it, including many, many weeks on the beach. And mansions are in, think of this. Here's a guy that's been a politician all his life. He's got homes in the Virgin Islands, Nantucket, Lake Tahoe, Kiowa Island. Where the hell did they get all this money, Byron? He's got more homes than I do.
Byron Donalds. And that's just it. Trump was a businessman, never a politician, entered into this as a newbie, was a star on NBC, but, actually built buildings, employed people, and worked very hard all of his life. And you think about somebody, my God, reinventing himself. Think about this. I was thinking about when he introduced Barron Trump, who just turned 18 not so long ago, and I thought, wow, Trump when he was 60 years old, and he had, what did he do? He had a baby. That's when he was 60. Well, obviously Melania is much younger, but when they had Barron, he was just beginning a whole new life, a whole new chapter. This guy is incredible. And so it's really unfair to compare his age of 78 to Biden's or most people. And that's what's incredible. I know he went on later to joke about the fact that he doesn't even buy bacon anymore because the cost of bacon. But the truth is, Melania is not letting him eat the bacon. I have exclusive audio. Donald, I'm sorry, darling, but you look good. You don't have the guts so much anymore, so no bacon, darling. I'm liking you. You're more fit, svelte. We have to work on this. And she's such a protective mom. I think that she finally said, "Okay, you can introduce." Barron's now 18, so I think he said, "Mom, I want to be introduced at the rally." Supposedly, he's really social. He's really funny, but I can't wait to hear him talk. But she did a great job of protecting him.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what the kid sounds like.
Which is good.
Like at all. Yeah, and that's a good thing.
She's a good mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't seen her much. Not that right now she's not really needed on the campaign trail per se. They're raising a ton of money. They're way ahead in the polls. I am, as I said earlier on Kale and Company, I worry that Republicans might get a little too comfortable, and they never should. And that's why it was important to interview Kathy Ingham, Chester County. But as you think about Trump Force 47 across our region, across the country, please do sign up. Please do get involved, even if you can't come out to the grand opening of the office, like I had mentioned in Westchester. I do hope you get involved. I think it's good. It's healthy. And just to get out there and feel like you're doing something, you're part of something, but as well to be a poll watcher, for example, to go door to door. I think that's important to make our local presence known and we'll have a lot of fun too. So I'll take your calls on the other side, I promise. 855-839-1210. Earlier this morning we were talking about, this was kind of cute, Tyrese Maxey, and he has a luxury vehicle. It is 4 years old. I'm just saying, it's a Range Rover. So they have like a new Uber car rental service, and he's obviously a spokesperson. I don't know if you saw that story. If you'd want to play, you can play horse with him,
I think I'd have a good shot.
Well, you're an athlete, but you did throws like my son David.
Yeah, I'm a solid basketball player. I'm a good shooter if I'm left alone.
Would you rent his Range Rover for $79 a day? So it's a car rental idea, like a sharing service like Uber,
Right.
Airbnb.
Yeah, maybe if I was going somewhere trying to show off a little bit, but no, not at the moment. I can't say I have the funds for that.
Yeah, I just think I have a lot of questions about it because car rental companies are a pain in the butt. But on the other hand, if you get the insurance to cover, I just wonder how it works with insurance and everything.
Yeah.
If you're renting somebody's personal vehicle, that's my question.
Just be careful. Just be careful with it. Don't get in any accidents.
I know. Well, always, always. Or you could just turn to my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, which is probably what Tyrese is thinking about anyway. So that's why he's renting out this vehicle, because how many tens of millions of dollars does he make with his? He's so talented. So I'm sure he would turn to Piazza Premium Automobiles just to get another Range Rover. But they're going to help make sure that you and your family are safe on the roads this summer, and that's what we're talking about, safety. These service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular maintenance needs, but also they diagnose possible issues before they happen. And that's what's optimum. Just schedule a service appointment online today. If only they could fix my voice right now. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com for that dealer nearest you. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
An excessive heat warning remains in effect for the Delaware Valley. It'll be partly sunny, very humid, high 95 with heat indices over 100. Tonight, humid, partly cloudy with a shower or storm possible, low 74. And Thursday, partly sunny and not quite as humid, high near 90.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Inflation fears started in 2021. The warning signs were everywhere. But Senator Bob Casey ignored the warnings and sided with the liberals in Washington, voting for trillions in reckless, wasteful spending. And all that reckless spending made inflation worse, driving up prices on almost everything you buy. Now, Pennsylvania families are paying the price for Senator Casey's reckless spending. Our state's been hit the hardest by higher prices. With Senator Casey's reckless spending, grocery prices are up 25%. Rent, it's up 21%, and electricity's up 29%. Senator Casey helped create this mess, and now Pennsylvania families are struggling to make ends meet. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, and fight against inflationary government spending. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But the playoffs just ended. Boston Celtics won, and now we get fewer games. But it's okay. Have no fear, because with FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, it keeps the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. During the summer, FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg, and make the most out of your summer. You still have baseball. The Phillies are playing well. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Don't forget FanDuel.com/Greg. 21 and over, present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Congratulations to American Heritage Credit Union, who was just named the 2024 Best in State Credit Unions list by Forbes for 2 years in a row. Your friends at Odyssey want to congratulate the entire American Heritage Credit Union team for this prestigious honor.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home to fix your unit and he wanted to sell you all types of upgrades? Look, if your AC unit is acting unruly this summer and needs to be fixed, we'll send out one of our technicians to do one thing: fix your AC. And if we do think you need a new one, we'll have one of our factory-trained install teams put in a new state-of-the-art train cooling system to keep you cool. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinecans.com.
Keswick Theater welcomes the Oak Ridge Boys on August 2nd, the Little River Band August 10th, and the Righteous Brothers on August 20th. Tickets are on sale at keswicktheater.com. That's keswicktheater.com. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano weekdays noon till 3. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
What a disgrace. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner. Disgrace. I know Dom Giordano is going to talk about this upcoming and have an exclusive interview as well that you want to hear. As we think about our local sergeant, Chris Fitzgerald, who we've talked so much about, as you know, a young father, husband, gunned down, really an execution of a uniformed police officer, Temple University Police Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald. And that happened February 18th of 2023. So the family, as you well know, had really pretty much made a plea and begged the district attorney of Philadelphia to please get the ask for the death penalty in this case. Make it a death penalty case, which certainly it meets all the criteria. And now after all this time has passed, 17 months, as I said, they now learn that no, that's off the table. That is a sin. That is a sin. So the family has sent out a letter, and they were just informed that Krasner will not seek the death penalty for the accused gunman in this case, the accused cop killer, 19-year-old Miles Pfeffer, who was accused of gunning down Sergeant Fitzgerald. You remember this, and we've talked a lot about this, and we were blessed to meet his widow, Marissa, his family, at some of the Families Behind the Badge fundraisers that I know many of you have signed up, which is awesome, or donated to the Families Behind the Badge bike ride, which is upcoming, by the way, in just a couple weeks. But this decision by Krasner goes against and is a real slap in the face to the entire Fitzgerald family. And they've been speaking out about this. They've been making a plea for this to be a death penalty case. And why take it off the table? I mean, even for somebody, and we've seen in the past with other prosecutions, where it will really pressure a defendant to try to make a plea deal, right? And to say, oh, okay, I'll confess and I'll do a plea deal and not have to go through an expensive and costly trial, meaning not just taxpayer dollars and resources, but as well the cost of the pain and the emotion of a family. They've already been dragged through court appearances with this guy, right? Where they have to see him. As a matter of fact, let's go. As a matter of fact, this is the widow, a young, beautiful widow, and raising the children by herself now. And this is Marissa Fitzgerald as she was speaking out against this defendant, if you will, and describing what his demeanor was in one of the more recent court appearances. Here's the widow, Mrs. Marissa Fitzgerald.
He's disgusting. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. No empathy. Just an evil human being. Just an evil individual that has no regard for life.
And so that's, you think about a grieving widow and just even hoping for an apology or something from the person who is accused of murdering her husband in cold blood, a uniformed police officer while on the job. And we've covered this extensively, but the family releasing a statement prior to this evening, we remain prayerful that the judicial system would be allowed to work and that the fate of, and this is actually from the sergeant's mom, the fate of my son's murderer would be decided by a judge or jury with all available options. And isn't that fair? Just let a judge, let a jury. But you see, Krasner won't even allow that and allow the family to even have the possibility of what they feel is full and true justice. So remember, it was reported at the time that this 19-year-old pulled out a handgun, fired 3 times at Sergeant Fitzgerald, and then as he was lying there on the ground, wounded, that reportedly this 19-year-old then stood over him, firing 3 more shots into his face and his head, thus executing him. This is his dad, Joel, speaking out about this, right? We have Joel Fitzgerald, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Being present is part of the battle here. to ensure that the type of justice that this, this monster deserves is enacted.
The family.
So that is, Mr. Fitzgerald, a grandfather, certainly helping raise the grandchildren who won't grow up knowing their daddy, who, by all accounts, and I know that we cover the funeral live, I know by all accounts, this guy, Sergeant Fitzgerald, a bright light was extinguished here in Philadelphia, and the thought of the children, the family, not getting a chance, even a chance for justice, for that to be snuffed out and taken away from them. Larry Krasner, you are a disgrace to Philadelphia, and you should step down immediately. Dom Giordano, I know that you will be all over this and, in fact, have some exclusives on this one today.
Yes, thanks, Dawn. Dr. Fitzgerald. And, Dawn, there's a report, too, that he may not even ask for life imprisonment since the alleged killer is only 18.
Oh.
And even for Philadelphia, Dawn, is there no outrage here with this guy? You can't have a more classic case that calls for the death penalty at every level. We're also going to have Dr. Ben Carson on.
Ooh.
We're going to play Don Trump Jr. going down the VP choices, loves Dr. Carson, but says he's too mild.
No, I think he'd be perfect.
Yeah, Dan thinks that. We used the Maisie test, his wife.
Yeah?
She likes him. It's the suburban, women type, Dr. Ben Carson. So we'll talk a lot with him.
No, Dawn?
I know, right? The wisdom of Maisie.
There you go.
I love it. Can't wait for the Dom show right here.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS